Listen to Downtown Hot Radio on the air 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
You're now tuned into the Real Rap Radio Show. I'm your host, Walil Archer on Downtown Hot Radio. I have a special guest. I have Linda Drummond. How are you today?
Fine, Walil. Thanks for having me here so much today. It's a really good time to have me because it's Halloween and you should be able to celebrate Halloween with me.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's talk about it.
Well, okay. Up till Halloween is the thinnest that the veil is between our world and the spirit world. Uh, the spirits are absolutely, and I can feel them already. They're coming around. And the beauty of spirits is you have spirits that want to give you messages, and not everybody gets those spirits, gets those messages from their spirits because they don't know how to do it. Um, Please try and find me on Facebook, Linda Drummond author. I've got videos there on how to connect with your spirits and connections also to the book that I wrote, the Gypsy Tarot spread. And it will help you out immensely. It will help you develop your intuition. It will help you build your self-confidence. If you do what I do and daily card pulls, it will tell you what kind of a day you're going to have. But you have to learn to listen to your spirits and trust what they're saying to you. So, did you know that there's a few different kinds of angels?
I did not
Uh,
know.
no. Well, the two of them that you communicate with constantly, or that I communicate constantly with, and it comes in communications like your conscience. Those are messages from your guardian angels and your spirit guides. Now, guardian angels are angels that are assigned to you at birth to take care of you all of your life. The spirit guides could be people that once walked this earth, people that you knew, like your ancestors, or perhaps good friends, and they're there to watch you and take care of you as well. Um, Now, you might wonder why you want to be in contact with your spirits, and that's just because you need to hear these messages. And it's so important to hear those messages. Um, Now, I want to tell you about my one card pulse because it's really developed a lot of contacts for me so far as taking care of people, and which I'm here to serve. That's my sole purpose on earth, is to serve. My one card pulls are, I take my tarot deck, something just not the full deck. I just take the major arcana out of the Rider Waite deck and I shuffle them. Can you see me shuffling? Anyway, I shuffle them. Then I kind of turn part of them around and I pull out a card. And I do that on for everybody that requests it on several Facebook pages, my personal page, my author page. And I tell the person what the message is for their card. This one is justice. Now there's some sort of a legal contention, and they're winning the battle on this one. So that basically, I mean, the detailed message that I post is a lot more detailed than that, but that's what their message is, so that they know that they're going to have a good day legally. Now I do 50 to 100 card pulls every day, and it can
Oh,
get very, very tedious, as I'm sure that you can well imagine doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Um, and my spirits, and whose ever spirits that I'm talking for, or talking with at the time, or searching, doing the cards for, um, they're entertaining me, and I get visions from them. The visions are quite humorous. The first time it happened, the spirits, their spirits, my spirits, were all huddled together, and they're and they're making me laugh. They're making me smile. And it continued that whole day because it was a long day reading. I don't know. I must have done close to 100 that day. There was other times that I saw baseball teams, basketball teams, football teams. Um, Marching bands, I saw all kinds of things that day that made me smile. That was meant to entertain me so that I wouldn't stop and just walk away from it. Not that I had that in my head, but they thought that that would be a possibility. So they're going to take care of me. So, um, what would you like to know? Have you got any questions so far?
Yes. So let's talk about your book.
All right.
What inspired you to write your book?
Well, I had a really rotten childhood, um, a very abusive mother, and a father that wasn't there. He was a military father. He wasn't there a lot, which I'm sure happens in a lot of families. And anytime I stepped through the door, I had to sense what was going on in my family, whether or not they had been fighting, whether my mother was gonna, lash out at us. And I didn't get the worst of it. My sisters got the worst of it, my older sisters. I learned to keep my mouth shut and just sense things. So I knew what was coming down the pipe. Um, so when somebody handed me a deck of tarot cards when I was 25, I went, oh, I can do this. It's easy. It's really easy to do this. And it was immediately easy for me. I read the cards. I had faith in myself. I had faith in my capabilities, and I just started reading for people. Now, as time went on, I was reading a very simple spread called the Celtic cross spread, and it's way simple. It's just doesn't give enough information. So when I discovered what they call the Gypsy Tarot spread, it's a huge spread. I just reveled in it. It was so much fun. It gave so much more details. It had tons of people in it, so you could read relationships and um, events and combine the two. And there. Then I rewrote, I think, the Rider-Waite book so that it would be a little closer to today. For instance, the Chariot card could be a vehicle, could be a car. And through that, I just started doing readings and recording all the readings and just going over the cards. Like, so much more was coming to me than what was in the Rider-Waite book, the book that comes with the cards. So I started recording all of that, and I started expanding on that, and I started defining it. And someone told me just this morning, and she's a reader, she said, your card meanings are absolutely defined. And that's what I was going after. What a nice compliment to come from her. So partway through this, well, I'm getting off track now, I suppose. So that's what inspired me to write the book. So because I had so many notes already and had been researching it, it just came natural. Why not put it into a book? But the funny thing about how did I get to this channeling thing where the spirits actually talk to me? That's kind of a funny story. I was messaging back and forth and doing some card reading for someone, and she was very upset. Somebody in her life had committed suicide, and a book of my poems fell off the shelf and hit me in the head and fell open to a poem that I wrote. So I said, well, that's got to be there for a reason. So I typed it out, sent it to her, posted it to her so she could read it, and it was exactly what she needed to hear. Exactly. And I thought, okay, now the spirits are talking to me. Somebody's talking to me. Somebody's giving me this information. So that's how I moved from one into the other. And everybody has a spiritual journey. And that so far is my spiritual journey. There's something else that's coming up too that I have plans for. World peace. And I think that's an important message to get. There will be a Facebook group up pretty soon. We've got to figure out how to get the message out. There's always a path to everything that you do, and I'm figuring out that path right now. And that is my next task. The spirits are telling me that's what I should be doing next. So it's all leading somewhere.
Now, talking about spirits and Halloween, You said that the spirits is out more because it's Halloween.
Yes, that's when the veil is the thinnest. So their spirits can come right through and talk to you. Would you like to try?
Sure.
Oh, okay. All right. I've got a video on my Facebook author page and my personal page, and it's all over the place. And it comes from YouTube, and it's one about reaching your connections. Now, in order to reach your connections, there's something that you can do. There's very soft music in there, which I don't want to play it, but there's meditation music. It's like meditation. Have you ever meditated?
Yes.
Okay, so it can keep you calm. You feel calm when you're doing it. Have you ever floated?
No.
No. Okay, you're not deeply meditating. If you relax enough in a comfortable position with your legs uncrossed and your palms up on your wherever they happen to be, uh, then when the spirits are starting to come through, you feel tingling in your fingertips. Or you might feel it. You might feel it in your toes. People feel it different spots. Somebody said their thumb and their forefinger were tingling, and that was all in their hands. But you can feel a change, a metaphysical change to what's going on within your body. And at some point, if when you're relaxed enough, you start to float. And when you're floating, you might be, because you're paying attention and you're on the job site right now, you might be a little more apt to um, be a little more tense than you should be if you're meditating. So you might want to do this later. I'll just, map it out for you. If you have any questions, you certainly can contact me at any point in time. I will help you personally, and I've helped a few people personally reach their spirits. So what you do is you put your hands, palms up, and you start to meditate. You start to go into deep relaxation. You relax every part of your body, your feet, your legs, up and through your stomach, your arms, your hands, your neck, your head. And pretty soon you feel almost like you're floating. And when you're floating, that's when you know the spirits are around you. And you ask your spirits at that point to protect you, because that's what they call an open state. And when you're in that open state, you need protection. You picture a white light coming down around you, and I've got it coming down around me right now. You probably can't see it, but that's what's protecting me. And then when I go, um, these you walk through a door. It can be any door that you like. My door is an arch with flowers on it, like lots of flowers. And you step into whatever world you is your happy place. Like it could be a beach, it could be the woods, it could be a mountain, it could be wherever you feel the most calm and happy. That's where you should go. If you go into a couple of different places, the way you come back out is just retrace those steps back out. Otherwise, you say that you leave little pieces of your place of yourself in those places. So then when you get down into it, and the spirit, and you're tingling, and you know that those spirits are listening, you can start to ask questions. When you ask those questions, they will give you the answers. Remember the answers, remember what they're saying. You can record it and say it out loud, tell them that you've heard it, tell them what's tough about it. They're going to encourage you. They're going to give you some ideas and how to handle and cope with things. And basically that's what you do. When you're done and you've got all your questions, thank them. They're like people here on earth. People like to be thanked when they do something for you. And then you come back out the way you went in. And you can do that 3 or 4 times a week and get your messages and just totally correct everything that's messed up in your life. So that's simply how it's done. And you're sure welcome to try it out, find a video on my author site, and then see what you can. If you have trouble, let me know. It's usually at the point where the tingling is that you have trouble, that people are having trouble.
Okay. Now with your
And
book, With your book,
Mhm.
how long did it take you to write your book from start to
Oh,
finish?
I wrote it for years because it was all the research that I did. But I probably over a 2 or 3 year period, I kept writing it. I was working at a call center for computers, and they're notorious for laying people off and closing contracts and stuff all over again. And in between those jobs, I would write. I keep busy. I'm gonna make work projects, so that's all what that's about. So it's been fun. Um, I had to learn language all over again because I was raised by a very strict mother who decided we would speak proper English, and we weren't allowed to use any short forms of words. We had to speak properly. And so I had to bring that back because I worked for 18 years in the bar industry, and my language was terrible. My first computer was not even a Windows computer. But when I typed on the word processing program on that computer, it was riddled with red marks because I couldn't spell and I couldn't, my grammar was so bad. So I had to re-educate myself. Then I went to college and then I started writing my book. So yeah, I've had a really fun life that way. Working was a pain in the butt for me because you want to just do the same job for years, and I guess I'm not meant to do the same job for years. It's in and out and back and forth and in and out and back and forth, and then you decide you got to do something real. I'm also an artist, a very accomplished artist. I do a lot of portraits and things like that too. So, I whatever I've had to do to make my living better, I've done it. Now I'm on my big spiritual journey, so my spirits are with me. Have you ever felt like you were on a spiritual journey?
I can't.
You haven't
That's
needed the spirits too much yet, I don't think, right?
right. Correct.
Yeah. And you know what? You won't. You may not ever need them. You might be, happy with what surrounds you, and until you feel a need for it. And I felt a need for it many times in my life. So they've helped me cope with a lot of things. Can you hear my birds?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. They're wild flying birds. If they land on my head, just please laugh.
So, what would you like for people to learn from reading your book about spirits?
I would like them to not necessarily learn tarot, but to trust their intuition. To it's the gut feeling that you have when something's right or something's not right, and you need to trust that. I mean, when you've got children, do you have kids?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you've had this experience with your kids that they're in pain. They're not with you, but something's wrong with them from a distance. And lots of people experience that all the time. And that is your spirits telling you there's trouble in one part of your life, you need to go. And I've had that experience. That was one of my early experiences when my son was a baby. He was in the hospital. He had a febrile convulsion earlier that day, and I could tell him right down to exactly the time that he had one at night. And when you can't be with your babies, that's difficult time. But so, if you think everybody has that capability, they just have to trust their intuition and what their spirits are telling them. And this is a way to develop that. Tarot is a way to develop that. When you read the cards, you expand your mind and you open it up so you can get those messages. And that's the important thing, is to get the messages and to believe them and to trust them. And it's that's it. That's perfect. If you can do that in your life, you're going to be much happier. If you follow your calling and your true path, that is where you're meant to be. And the spiritual guides will tell you what you're supposed to be doing.
Understood. And how did you learn how to read the cards?
Well, there's this little book that comes along with the original cards that I had. And, I deal out the cards in the spread and I just take them one at a time. Was very frustrating because it didn't connect the cards. The Gypsy Tarot spread is a little bit different. You read 42 cards at a time, or you can just do 3 lines if you like, but there's 6 lines in the ones that I do. And there's 7 cards in each line, and you read it just like a story all the way across. Sometimes the story seems to start and stop, and that's because there's 2 issues in that line. There's a past line, a general information line, outer influences line, and in that line, that's where spirits show up. That was one of my interesting earlier experiments in the 90s. Then there's the future possibility, or no, the present, the possibilities for the future, and the future line. Let me tell you about that little experiment that I did. When I realized that spirits were trying to channel me, I wanted to find more people that I could channel for. And, that was way back in the 90s when the internet was just getting going and Google wasn't much of anything. And I don't know how people found me, but my internet provider provided one page for us to write whatever we wanted to about ourselves. And lots of people, I'm sure, put their resumes down there. But I chose I wanted to search for people that I could read for that needed closure, because I wanted to do the study on whether or not the spirits were showing up in the tarot cards. And they showed up. I bet you, in just a few months' time, I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people find me. I don't know how they found me. I don't have a clue. I mean, I didn't put my website on Google or anything. Not really a website, but page on I didn't put them on a search engine, but they found me anyway. And I think it's the spirit sent them to me. And I read and read and read and read tarot cards, and tarot cards turned into full channeling where I could get messages from the spirit and give it back to the person that it was meant to be. At one point, there was a lady that she'd had a child that had passed, and the child had been somehow disabilitated. They couldn't walk, and it was a sick child. And the child came to me, and the first thing that I do is I ask for the spirit. I ask the person for the permission of the spirit to come into the channeling session. Well, she came in full force, and she said, "I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to my mother." But she didn't close the veil between me and them. But she wanted to tell her mother directly, and her mother got that message. And it always makes me cry when I talk about it. But the last time I saw them, they were skipping around, playing together, because this child was no longer handicapped. And they were sliding down rainbows and swinging on stars and having the greatest time on earth. The child was no longer handicapped. She needed her mom to know that, and they were playing together. It was amazing. So I've had really happy moments doing that. It's the most satisfying part of my life.
That's awesome. And as we close out, where can they purchase your book at?
Any Amazon. There's different places on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca.au, UK.co.uk. Any Amazon sells my books. And if you're having trouble getting a hold of it, find me on Facebook. Just search for Linda Drummond, author. You'll find either my personal or my author's site. And send me a message through there and say, where can I get a hold of it? And I'll figure it out for you.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Any final thoughts or closing remarks?
I feel honored to be able to be doing this. And thank you so much for your time getting the word out there. Okay? Maybe we can do a talk again sometime when I open up for the world peace.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, you have a wonderful day and happy Halloween.
Same to you. So that's my time today on the Real Rap Radio Show. And I'll see you guys next time on the Real Rap Radio Show with Walil Archer on Downtown Hot Radio.
Listen to Downtown Hot Radio on the air 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Tune in by downloading the Downtown Hot Radio's mobile app. Listen on our website, www.downtownhotradio.com.